Football Wonderkids have only been getting younger and younger, and this trend of exceptionally young Wonderkids is not looking to stop anytime soon. From Lamine Yamal becoming the youngest to do practically anything over in Spain, to Warrior Zaire-Emery being elected man of the match in the Champions League at only 17 years of age, Wonderkids are taking over the biggest stages of football. But there was a player, a few years ago, that seemed destined to eclipse all other Wonderkids. This Wonderkid was so incredible, in fact, that Borussia Dortmund were able to convince the German Football Association and the Bundesliga to lower the minimum age to play professional football from 17 to 16, just for him to get his debut for the club. Born in the city of Yaoundé in Cameroon, Youssoufa moved to Germany in Hamburg at the age of 10 to reunite with his father that had been working there for the past 25 years. There, he was rapidly scouted by all the top clubs in Germany and finally signed with Dortmund's academy, where he rapidly became known as the prodigy. In fact, following his very first training session with the Dortmund's academy, the under-14 coach was so shocked that he brought in every other academy coach at the club to come watch Moukoko train. Moukoko was moved up to the under-15, where he scored 23 goals for only 13 league games in his very first season. Rapidly, all the top European clubs sent in their scouts to watch this unbelievable gem that had appeared in Germany. With this growing attention and hype, also quickly came questions about Moukoko's age. Already, there was skepticism that a player this young could already be so mature physically and technically. Dortmund's academy coaches suggested for Moukoko's father to carry out an age test in order to put this drama to rest, as no official documents from the German embassy in Cameroon existed to testify of Moukoko's birth on the 19th of November 2004. Even today, in the scientific community, age tests are commonly criticized for not being fully accurate, and their validity still remains to be proven, according to many. In the end, Moukoko and his family did not take an age test despite the numerous requests to do so. The following season, Moukoko was moved up to Dortmund's B team, where he scored again an incredibly impressive total with 40 goals in only 28 games. In an interview at this time, Moukoko declared, "Last season was difficult, with all the things that were happening outside," referring to the never-ending discussions and controversy around his age. It is clear that this had been affecting him on a personal level. However, during these early years, the Dortmund staff did a great job of protecting him from all the noise and keeping him away from the media. The following year, in 2019, Moukoko signed a commercial deal with Nike, where he reportedly earned €1 million for his signature for an endorsement deal that could be worth up to €10 million reportedly. Moukoko would finish off the 2018-19 season with his best total yet, 46 goals. In September 2019, Moukoko became the youngest player to ever feature in a youth league game, the Champions League for academies, and would end up scoring 6 goals in the competition. Following these amazing performances, Dortmund's head coach Lucien Favre started talking about giving Moukoko first team minutes and also called him up to train with the first team regularly. Finally, a day after his 16th birthday, on the 21st of November 2020, Moukoko became the youngest player to ever play in the Bundesliga, coming on against Hertha Berlin in a 5-2 win for Dortmund. Less than a month later, Moukoko would break another record by becoming the youngest player to start a Bundesliga game and the youngest player to score in Germany's top division by scoring against Union Berlin in a 2-1 defeat. That same month in 2020, he would also become the youngest player to ever play in the Champions League, as he was subbed on for 32 minutes against Lazio. Overall, that season, Moukoko would play for a total of 15 games, totaling 3 goals. The following season, Moukoko would further adapt to professional football, as he played a total of 22 games, totaling 2 goals and 2 assists. However, that season, Moukoko also missed a total of 11 games due to various muscle injuries and soreness. Many agreed that despite his talent and great physical abilities, Moukoko might have been thrown too quickly into men's football, and that this was causing him to have all these injuries. Although not severe, these injuries hampered Moukoko's development, as he was unable to train and play consistently, which is key at that age to progress quickly. The following season was much of the same, as he still missed 10 games due to injury. Despite this, Moukoko played more and performed much better, which showed in his numbers as he managed 7 goals and 6 assists that season. In December 2022, Moukoko was even called up to the German national team by head coach Hansi Flick, becoming the youngest player to partake in this edition of the World Cup. He was awarded with very few minutes at the competition, and unfortunately, Germany was knocked out early in the tournament. Following this great achievement of being the youngest player at the World Cup, problems and controversies would rise again for Moukoko. It's in January 2023, a month after the World Cup, that a German newspaper would publish an article criticizing the validity of Moukoko's age and states that he was instead born in 2000, which would now make him 22 as opposed to 18. This article contained the picture of the supposedly real birth certificate of Moukoko and was published as the front cover of the newspaper. This press publication would once again re-spark the debate in Germany about who Moukoko really was. Furthermore, the doubts regarding Moukoko's age were now picked up by the rest of the footballing world. Many clubs that had or were still potentially interested in the player backed up and completely abandoned their interest in signing him. Memes about Moukoko's age started popping up everywhere on the internet, showing how the perception of the footballing community, especially the fans, had changed regarding to Moukoko. From the biggest prospect in the world just a couple seasons ago to now being the laughingstock of the footballing community, things had really taken a turn for the worse. The end of Moukoko's 22-23 season was once again plagued with injuries, and he struggled to consistently show up week in and week out to make the real transition from prospect to star. Despite his lackluster performances, rumors stated that Moukoko and his entourage remained very difficult in negotiations and were highly demanding when it came to signing Moukoko's first long-term professional contract, as he now had turned 18. Before the age of 18, players are required to sign a contract with a maximum length of 3 years according to FIFA regulations. This contract would therefore be Moukoko's first long-term contract and could determine much of Moukoko's career. Although it was denied that Moukoko and his entourage were very asking, it still remained that negotiations were long and strenuous. Ultimately, Moukoko continued with the club that has trusted him and supported him for all these years, and signed a new contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2026. However, there has reportedly been conflict between Moukoko and the coaching staff, and it doesn't look like Moukoko will get many minutes at all as a result. Now supposedly 19, it is clear that Youssoufa Moukoko's career is nowhere close to the trajectory it had been predicted to follow just a couple years ago. Moukoko is not a star in the Bundesliga, and certainly not a generational talent similar to the likes of Mbappe. However, the facts remain. 19 or 23, Moukoko has incredible qualities and most definitely is a great football player. He simply hasn't yet been able to show it off fully like many others of his generation.